It's their expectation. Beauty does lie in the eyes of the beholder. In my eyes, I think
Oh, look, Arma, she said what you said. She said the thing. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Woke up feeling depressed, not feeling enough. I'm feeling like my head is barely above water. I'm broke. I'm in the negative. I have not hit my goal at my job. I missed my stream schedule by getting in my own way. Like, it's all of this. And at the very bottom, what does that say right there? Going to the gym very, very, very much helped my outlet. Yaps. It's in the name. We're also growing up in an age of social media, technology, and though I don't think social media is inherently bad, I think it's a tool. But a lot of people are using that tool and just kind of doing self-harm with it by judging themselves or comparing themselves with the people online and the people around them.
Beauty is on the inside, they say. But let's be real. Most of the world makes their impression of you based on what's on the outside.
Yeah, but you're never supposed to judge a book by its cover.
Who you are often gets reduced to the shape of your face, your size, the color of your skin, the hair that you're constantly worried about losing,
Or the way the words are coming out your mouth.
these annoying little things that you feel insecure about.
I guess I have a baby face.
This mole on my face.
Insecurities. My arms.
I used to have like a double chin, and then there was all these viewing videos and shit going around. How to have like a jawline, and I was like, this is bad.
Publicly, you joke about these things.
I get that with the mewing things. Like, every dude, if you don't have a dude that looks like it came from a G.I. Joe comic book, like, or a jaw that looks like it comes from a G.I. Joe comic book, you're like, what the hell? So most dudes are growing beards not because they think it looks good, so they can hide their jawline or their non-existent jawline.
But deep down, they gnaw at you.
I'm very conscious when somebody asks me to smile.
An economist.
You know what? And speaking of this, I want to point this up because I think Omni, I think you might appreciate this. I think you might actually agree with this. Over here, boom. To me, I've said this for a while now, right? This is the formula for success. Success equals discipline times consistency. I want to get a capital. Consistency times intensity, right? But then I've worked on this formula for a while because now you have to divide it by your insecurities and really kind of, I don't want to say environment, but you have to divide it by your insecurities. All the stuff that we're talking about in this video. You could be as disciplined, consistent, and have a lot of intensity as you want, but if your insecurities are greater than all of these, you're never going to get ahead.
Said that the lifetime earnings gap between a
Looks don't
good-looking
matter
and
is the worst lie.
unattractive person.
No, you're not wrong, because if you look at a book and it has a terrible worn-off cover, it doesn't really look appealing, doesn't look very welcoming, and then there's a book right next to it, it's bright, it's colorful, it looks almost new, it looks fresh, which book are you more likely to pick up? Probably the fresh one, not the one that looks like it could be like a Ouija board or like tells you the text of like demons and shit.
Person could be around $230,000 in favor of the attractive person. The way you look can be what opens the door to your favorite job, your ideal partner, and the life you always dreamt of. So I dug deeper into the psychology, biology, history, and economics of it all in this quest to understand what it objectively means to look good and how it impacts your daily opportunities. So let's get
Talent
into
without
it.
hard work is nothing. It's just a wasted life. It's a wasted talent. Chapter 1. The Algorithm of Attraction.
So in 1878, Francis
Bro, AI is getting good. Look at this.
Galton, a very controversial professor of eugenics, had this belief that if he combined the
Okay, maybe it's not getting that good.
portraits of various criminals, he might come across the face of evil. Except, the composite he produced was surprisingly beautiful, and it made him question, what is beauty really? As I also tried to find this answer, I realized Math says one thing, your social psychology says something else.
That's a good point,
and even
Arma.
Shadi.com has its own priorities. So let me break down some very interesting theories I learned from some research papers. You know, according to mathematics, people find faces attractive when the distance between the eyes is about 46% of the face's width and distance between the eyes and mouth is 36% of the face's height. And
What is this? What is the thing called where you have like Jesus or like Leonardo da Vinci with the body, and it's like it shows you like what a perfectly symmetrical body looks like, what a perfect human is supposed to look like.
wait, check this. Tiny shifts like the placement of your eyes can completely alter.
Hold up, I want to see that again.
Check this. Tiny shifts like the placement of your eyes
It's like Rachel Zegler over here.
can completely alter perceived attractiveness. There's also a golden ratio for human lips, by the way.
The golden
math
ratio.
says that the upper one needs to be 2/3 of the lower lips. Now, these numbers were intriguing, but let's be real. Beauty isn't a strict math problem.
No.
Faces aren't just equations. So, if math can't fully explain it, what does? I moved on to biology. So, evolutionary biologists say that beauty is basically nature's advertisement for I've got good genes, come closer. Our brains
That's
are
very fair.
biologically wired to reward you for spotting certain patterns, which are proxy for good genes. Let me tell you what are these patterns.
I think one of my left eye or my right eye is slightly smaller than the other one.
also a very common thing.
Yeah, no, that's with me. My right eye has like it's either like a little lazy eye or just a little smaller than my left. Like even if I smile, like look at you guys, maybe you could see it. Makes me feel like Tim the Tap Man, but this does actually make me feel better that that's common.
No, it doesn't.
So, our brains interpret symmetry as genetic health, unconsciously associating balanced faces with better survival chances. Weirdly enough, a blend of many different faces creates an average face which we universally find attractive. Basically, a face that's smooth, balanced, and genetically diverse. You remember the Francis Galton experiment that we just spoke about?
Makes me think of Sydney Sweeney when she says that.
This is essentially what happened. You know, even modern studies have confirmed this with computer morphing. If you blend, let's say, 20 faces together, the resulting face is typically rated more attractive.
Wow. That makes me legitimately think of Sydney Sweeney here, who, I mean, if you look at her, she's pretty balanced, pretty geometrical, but this eyebrow is a little different than this one. Maybe this eye is actually a little lower than this. Like, insane.
I think one would be my ear. You must see that it's chipped away like this.
Features that highlight masculinity or femininity, like strong jaws in men or high cheekbones in women, they hint at fertility and hormone balance, subconsciously appealing to us as potential mates. You know, this explains why a strong jawline or high cheekbones might catch your eye without you even realizing it.
Yeah, so growing up, I was always the shortest, like I was the runt of the litter. I only hit puberty at like 16 or 15 years old. Otherwise, I was like 4'3", and that was it.
But
I imagine that that's like some of you guys in chat, just 4'3", just waiting to grow, just like, let me grow!
again, I have a question to ask all of you here. If beauty were only mathematics and biology, we'd all agree on who and what is beautiful, and we clearly don't. This
Everyone
is
has their own
where
taste and
we
flavors.
move on to the most interesting bits. But before I break this down, there's something I want to get to. We already covered real beauty is on the inside and how that's a reductive phase in today's practical world and free from artificial levels. Take metabolic gut fit for example. It's not about just looking good, it's also about feeling good.
So I
too.
wanna get past the
It
ad.
fights oxidative stress and enhances your skin's glow. Lacks of consumer.
Oh,
Take
look
a
at the
trip through
bodybuilders.
different eras around the world.
Yo.
And you'll quickly realize that if we put humans from different eras together,
What in the world did I just see?
all the definitions of their perfect mate or what looks good will be wildly different. In 15th century
Like what
Renaissance
looks good at
paintings,
that
the
time.
ideal beauty was a voluptuous pale woman with a high forehead. In 1920s America, it was
Jesus.
a boyish flapper with bobbed hair. In 2023 Korea, it might be a man with flawless skin with gentle features. You know, beauty standards can flip with the era or diverge by culture, proving that they are not absolute truth. They are just social stories we collectively tell.
I'm very conscious.
That's
I feel
very
if people
fair.
are watching me all the time.
Many a times I'm told like I'm too thin.
It just started when I was like super young. I think somebody told me that I look weird when I smile with my teeth.
You would not see me wear sleeveless, for instance. I would wear anything until here or here.
I think a part of it was social media.
Like you do not feel comfortable with yourself after a point. And that is not a good feeling.
That's
Crucially,
not.
these standards
At the end of the day, you go to bed with yourself every night. You should learn how to love yourself.
often have no real link to health or biology or
Beauty
the
is in the eye of the
mathematics we just
beholder.
learned about. They're
I couldn't say it better
arbitrary
myself,
and change
Alma.
with economic or social tides. You know, in times of scarcity, societies have idolized heavier body types, a sign of wealth and plenty. In times of abundance, suddenly thin is in. And let's not forget trends like neck elongation with rings, foot binding in old China, or modern cosmetic surgery crazes prove that nearly anything can be labeled beautiful if a cultural story wills it. In short,
It's that Sydney Sweeney eyes. They want those eyes. They think that like drunk, blasted out of your mind look is the look. And as she said, it's just a social story that we're telling to her right now. That's what we like. But in 10 years, it'll be something new.
it's all sort of just made up. And in 2025 today, we are living in the peak era of arbitrary beauty trends. Open your phone and instantly you're scrolling through curated perfection. Hyper-sculpted bodies, chiseled jawlines, surgically enhanced faces, standards manufactured by algorithms designed to hack your brain.
Currently, she is
at
the
least
epitome of
earlier
beauty.
Standards
In the
used
early
to shift
2000s, it
slowly,
was Kim
generation by
Kardashian.
generation, but now they're literally shifting post by post, TikTok trend by TikTok trend. You can literally wake up tomorrow and find out that your face shape or your eyebrows have gone out of style. We now pick and choose the absolute best features of various ideals and fawn over it. We try to replicate this person's eyebrows and that person's lip shape and that other person's nose and whatnot without realizing the true nature of this unfair comparison. You know, each of these traits
Comparison
that you
is the
fawn
thief of
over
joy.
may not be what your face even needs. Here are some numbers on how bad things have gotten because of social media. You know, 60% of men report body dissatisfaction directly tied to social media.
I am so glad she says that. My generation, literally, were growing up watching like Dragon Ball Z, G.I. Joe, just dudes who are insanely jacked all the time, take off their shirt, have abs, bulging biceps, popping triceps, big old pecs to keep the girls on deck. And if we take our shirt off, we go to the pool and look like this, and the back of our head, we think we're not a man.
Indian men especially are increasingly chasing that impossible hyper-masculine Instagram look with steroid use and body dysmorphia rising like crazy.
I definitely face
One-third
this.
of eating disorder cases are male, many delaying treatment
Ooh,
due
one
to
in
stigma.
yeah.
For women,
Yep.
it's even worse. 1 in 3 teenage girls admit that Instagram makes their body image worse. In India, nearly a third of young women face significant body dissatisfaction.
I don't want to blame Instagram for this because ultimately you have to learn, the individual has to learn that comparison is the thief of joy. And if you're going on social media and scrolling and looking at Avi over here and like, damn, she's prettier than I am, or I'm looking at a dude and I'm like, man, his shoulders look better than mine. Like, at the end of the day, that's not a victim of Instagram, that's a victim of myself. You cannot compare yourself to others. You have to learn how to appreciate what you do have.
Kids, by the way, aren't safe
Damn, he has better shoulders than me. I got a bigger dick.
either. We've literally got 5-year-olds posting skincare routines and kids feeling insecure about their bodies by age 7. Then to make
It's insane that we have like these 5, 6, 7-year-old girls just putting on makeup and trying to doll themselves and trying to make themselves appear older than what they are. I do not like that. Leave the kids alone. I know that's a crazy take that if I was Nick Merckx, I just lost my Call of Duty skin in the game, but can we leave the kids alone? Can we let them just play and frolic and learn and not have to worry about all the craziness and the vitriol in the world? And that's till they get older and they're more developed. I don't want these kids growing up and being jaded.
things worse, there's Snapchat dysmorphia. It's essentially a new form of body dysmorphic disorder fueled by social media where people become obsessed with perceived flaws because they compare their real selves to their perfected digital selves.
I see it, very perfect hair, getting nails done and everything.
If I had a better frame.
You set some unrealistic expectations, and if you're not according to it, you have
To
that
me, this isn't
inferiority
a-
complex.
Every
This is
time we put
not
on a
an
filter,
Instagram problem.
Each of these
This
filters
is a them problem.
subtly teach us to dislike our natural faces, embedding insecurity
This is insane though. Is like you could take the same video and apply a filter on it. That I'll blame Instagram for, and Snapchat and these weird programs and devs. Like, even though I don't want to completely say that like Instagram is not at fault, like it definitely is a tool, and these people have to learn how to appropriately use it. There could be a little bit more assistance in that.
these deeper and deeper until the filtered version feels more real than our true self. Think about the vicious cycle, okay? You compare yourself, feel inadequate,
Social media is
your
default at
self-esteem
fault?
plummets, so you dive deeper into social media looking desperately for validation, but instead
I
you're
disagree.
bombarded with
That's just
even
my opinion.
more filtered perfection, leaving you feeling worse. It's a relentless loop, one that profits from your insecurity.
One thing on a video like this is we also look at this and just see all of the negative. We don't see all of the good that social media has done, being able to connect people. Like, hell, we would not be a community. We would not be together if it wasn't for social media, if it wasn't for the internet, right? So like we can't say it's all bad. There has to be, at the end of the day, the best in my opinion, the best plan of action is to take ultimate responsibility and look at yourself in every situation, and every time something bad happens in your life, you have a bad feeling, you have a bad something. Why am I feeling this? What did I do to put myself in this position to feel this way, and what can I do to get myself out of feeling this way? And it could be something as easy as just going to the gym and getting a little pump on. But has become very aggravating with these problems. I don't want to disagree with you with that. Like, I'm not saying that Instagram and these social media companies are free to continue to do the things that they're doing. I definitely think there is some issues, there's some flaws, there's some fragmentations, like the crack in this mirror. Like, I agree with you on that.
Even though a lot of you may not accept it, but this phenomena is changing the way you perceive yourself and the world around you.
A lot of these Instagram reels which just portray people in a way that it shouldn't.
It doesn't go away. I don't feel these things 100% go away. It always stays with you.
But I've learned that it's their metric, it's their expectation. Beauty does lie in the eyes of the beholder. In my eyes, I think
Oh, look, Arma, she said what you said. She said the thing. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
are the most important.
Hell yeah,
I think
Omni.
I'm self-aware. I have a fat nose, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think I'll get a rhinoplasty or whatever. In fact, I hit my head and it even became crooked, but I like it the way it is.
I learned it hard.
That's my man.
This is who I am, and it is better to get comfortable as soon as possible.
That's a good attitude. That's a great
I
attitude.
think I'm not as insecure about my smile anymore. I don't know why. At some point, I just realized that it's really tiring to not smile. So if I'm going to be ugly, I might as well just just be ugly.
So I recently came across
And obviously, like, I love Lauren. I am not gay in any stretch of the way, but he's not an ugly guy, right? Like, we could agree he's not an ugly guy. Is he like, Brad Cooper or like Liam Hemsworth or Channing Tatum level of attractiveness? No. But when you have confidence in yourself and you could smile and you have that charisma, you got that riz, you don't need to be the most beautiful man on the planet.
Going to be ugly, I might as well just
He's medium, yeah.
just be ugly.
So I recently came across this very fascinating
But that's where it's
Stanford
like he
study
seems
that
like has a
proved something
personality
very
to
wild.
compensate for
People
that.
who simply thought they were attractive behave differently. The researchers found that believing you're attractive literally changes how you move through the world. When
Yeah, that delusional confidence. We all see that person who's like, why are you so confident? I wish I could just take a little hit of that to be able to move through the world like you are, because I got way too much anxiety and insecurities holding me back.
people see themselves as attractive, they don't just walk taller or smile more, they act like they deserve better. They negotiate harder, speak with authority, and naturally slide into leadership roles. It's almost like attractiveness becomes the self-fulfilling prophecy. But hold up. This is not about arrogance or entitlement. Nobody likes a jerk. It's about understanding that, how you see yourself profoundly shapes your interactions with the world, and those interactions create this powerful feedback loop. If you feel attractive or confident,
Interesting.
your posture straightens, your eyes meet others comfortably, and your smile comes easily. People subconsciously pick up on these signals and respond positively.
I don't know if this is like you think you're attractive or you just have confidence with yourself and confidence in who you are and confidence in understanding where you are in this world. And even if you're lower middle class, but you understand that, you're fine with that, you're confident in that, you can kind of move this way. I don't know. I don't take a leadership role that much because I hate the responsibilities.
Suddenly, you get external
Yeah.
validation that reinforces your initial confidence, creating and amplifying your self-worth. I've got some big news to share. So AV is expanding, and we are on the lookout for senior motion graphic designers who have at least 2 years of experience to join our team. So if you're somebody who's
Good for you
obsessed
guys.
with pushing the boundaries of put together or attractive, often get treated like they're smarter or more capable, even without proof. Our goal is to create the best videos the internet has ever seen. And if you want to be part of a team that's redefining video, apply now or share this with somebody who should. And there's also something that psychologists call the halo effect, where if people see one good quality in you, like attractiveness, they automatically assume other positive qualities like intelligence, competence, and trustworthiness. Ever notice that people who look put together or attractive often get treated like they're smarter or more capable, even without proof? That is halo effect in action.
I definitely see this, and I fall victim of this, where I see somebody like a dude who's, who has like a sports jacket on. He has hair in his gel. He's smiling. He's making eye contact. I'm like, yo, that dude has it together. I barely have it together, but that dude, he has it figured out. In reality, we're both in the same position where we both wake up not knowing what the day is going to hold, and we're just trying to do our best.
But here's where things get exciting. You can
This proves
leverage
that
this
looks do
understanding
matter?
right now.
It's kinda
Columbia
hypocritical, no?
University researchers discovered something called enclothed cognition, proving that the clothes you wear actually shapes how you think and perform. So participants wearing formal attire didn't just
Is it like in sports where you look good, you play good?
feel more powerful, they objectively perform better on cognitive tests. Your clothes aren't just fabric, they are literally psychological armor. So how do you practically apply all of this? First, fix your
Look good, play good. Yeah, I mean, that was it in paintball. If you could tell like a good paintball player next to somebody who was like not good just by the way they dressed and the way they walked and held themselves. So like, Arma, I think you're right where it's like this kind of does prove that looks do matter to a certain point in this reality.
posture. Seriously, stand straight.
In that
roll
case,
back your
Messi would never
shoulders,
become
lift
a
your chin slightly.
footballer?
Instantly, your brain
You're always
gonna
gonna have outliers.
with increased confidence.
You'll
It's
always have
basic
outliers.
biology. Next, you can dress more intentionally. Understand that how you present yourself influences how people perceive you and how you perceive yourself. So, dressing better doesn't just change how you look. Like we just showed you, it shifts how people treat you, triggering the halo effect.
More than your beauty.
Like this could be something that Instagram could do. If like you're a dude who has some insecurities, you can go on Instagram and not compare, but like look at like accounts that are around fashion and like, okay, I don't have the money to go out and buy new clothes, but I have t-shirts, some button up, some khakis. Like how can I dress myself to make myself feel better with the clothes that I have? Like that's a way to use Instagram as a tool to give yourself more confidence, not to destroy your confidence.
It's like how you communicate, how confident you are.
Once I found the gym, it took care of a lot of that insecurity.
Yes! Yes, the gym! You can literally fucking work out your demons at the gym. And today was a great day. If I could be honest with you guys, my book is in the other room, but I had like, you know what, here. This is actually important. What? How the hell? It's like, how the hell do I have this? This is actually important. Hold on. This is exactly what I was saying. Exactly what I was saying. And to prove this, look, we're just going to open this up straight to the page, right? Over here. Woke up feeling depressed, not feeling enough. I'm feeling like my head is barely above water. I'm broke. I'm in the negative. I have not hit my goal at my job. I missed my stream schedule by getting in my own way. Like, it's all of this. And at the very bottom, what does that say right there? Going to the gym very, very, very much helped my outlet. Just by going to the gym, it completely shifted my mood. Today, I was not in a sour mood, but I just felt like my head, like the water was here and my head's here, and I just couldn't get past it. I'm like, how are we going to get, like, you know, I was just like getting worked up. And just by going to the gym, breaking a physical sweat and getting that motion for the lotion bit, it helped.
I'm probably a lot harsher on myself than other people are of me.
But to compare things which are like almost unchangeable, that's stupid, I feel. So if somebody does that, I think they get affected more.
Starting your gym today? Hell
the
yeah,
last
Arma.
thing,
I believe in you.
Engage positively, smile genuinely, and make intentional eye contact and speak clearly. You know, even if you don't feel confident yet, act it out. Your brain catches up quickly, reinforcing your confidence through positive social feedback. Attractiveness, like we said, isn't about symmetry or genetics. It's about these subtle, actionable choices you make every single day. And that
I love that. And if I could piggyback off this, Arma, Yash, Omni, everyone's going to be different on the reason why they need to do this. And it's so cheesy. I will admit that I'm not the best at this in my life, but it has been very helpful when the times that I do apply it in my life. And that is just journaling. Sometimes when we're sitting there and we're thinking about life, it can cause so much anxiety. It can cause so much pressure. But just to physically be able to write it down, write out how you feel. And then along those lines, why do you feel that way? How are you going to take actions to make yourself feel better? Giving yourself small goals through the day. And the small goals through the day could literally be like, turn the stream on and talk to the community. You don't have to give yourself this outlandish goal of like, I need to have 40 plus followers or I need to gain 5 subscribers by the end of the stream. No, just turn the stream on, be present, and be grateful. Journalize your thoughts and understand the most important thing about it is understanding why you feel the way that you do. And to do it, you have to be open and honest with yourself and look and observe yourself with a discerning eye, right? And be honest with yourself. Nobody's perfect. At the end of the day, we're all human, so you have to give yourself grace. And this is why I want you guys a part of the community to like fall back on us where you guys feeling this way. Go into the Discord, chat it up. We are all here to lift each other up. And Arma, for the fitness stuff, if you don't feel comfortable sharing in the Discord, DM me directly. I want to know what you did each and every day. Even if you just went for a walk for 20 minutes, that is better than nothing. I promise you guys. That is my big takeaway from this. That was huge. That was huge.